Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today on the website of David Duggleby Auctioneers based in the UK, and we're going to have a look at their latest auction, which is musical instruments. Only about 91 lots in this auction, but should be a few different types of things, so worth exploring. This particular auction is finishing on the 19th of April. It's the 13th today, so a few days left to go. This is a UK based auction, so bear that in mind if you're looking to bid. If you're outside of the UK, then import, export fees, shipping, CITES restrictions, all of that fun stuff. Before we get on, just like to say if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, like, comment, turn on notifications, etc., because it really does help. So yeah, let's just crack on and see what we've got here. We've got a Faventure half-size miniature Spanish barrel piano there, a 100 to 200 on that. That's kind of slightly unusual. Good amount of pictures there, so definitely a curious one. We have a Steinmeier upright piano there. Nothing super kind of crazy about that, and not the nicest looking of cases, to be honest, in my opinion, in any case. Then we've got a contemporary 24-string Irish harp. Looks like a kind of fairly modern and generic one there. We've got an oud basically here, where they're saying a Middle Eastern lute. Looks kind of halfway interesting when you see the ouds with the pictures of the makers in. Usually indicates kind of an instrument that was made for being played rather than a purely decorative one, but not always the case. Got a 5-string banjo there. We've got a ukulele and a banjo ukulele there. Another banjolele here. Same here, another banjo ukulele. Got these interesting Brazilian 6-string guitars there by Giannini. I think we've seen some of these before in one of the other auctions. Seems to be quite a few of them floating about for whatever reason. 50 to 100 on that. That's not bad. Another one here as well. Interesting cases. This is the 12-string version there, 50 to 100. I think that's pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what the prices are on these things, but I think that is not too bad. Ozark, a tenor guitar there, so the 4-string model, 50 to 70. And we've got a violin, Neuner and Hornstein, Mittenwald, so it's saying 1900 here. You can check out a few more of the pictures. Not a super great model, this one. Some of them are really nice. 2 to 300 seems potentially a little bit expensive. Another violin here, 60 to 100 pounds. Saying copy of a Strad. Looks to be okay, interesting. Let's see, refurb. So it looks like someone stripped the varnish of like a trade instrument there, so I would say it's almost worthless really. Full-size violin here, 35cm length back, 60 to 80 on this. Got a few images here. Got a few bows that look halfway interesting. Looks like kind of a Viome model bow there. Not sure on the actual instrument itself, but nothing too crazy, but bow might be worth it, so some people might bid on that. Stanley Harrison, full-size violin, local luthier from Howden in Yorkshire, 360 length back, 200 to 300 on that. Looks like kind of Guarneri-esque F-holes there. A few images here and there. Looks pretty kind of believable for what they're saying in terms of construction and varnish, etc. So an English kind of violin there. Another full-size violin here. This looks pretty straightforward, low-tier trade there. And a couple of generic bows as well. Another kind of Strad instrument there, just a box standard trade instrument. Right, Michael Lindsay of Stockton-on-Tees violin, dated 1904, bridge damaged. So interesting crackle on the varnish there, 100 to 200 on that. Quite interesting box case there. Yeah, this is interesting enough, looks fairly well made. This is quite curious, this stamp, maker's stamp on the side of the neck. Could be an interesting project for someone. Needs a bit of TLC, I'd say, but 100 to 200, I don't think it's an unreasonable estimate there. And more violins here. Okay, 360 length of back, 150 to 250. This is quite an interesting looking violin. Kind of quite heavy edge work here. Let's have a quick look what the bridge says. Ultra. And it's got some kind of funny labelling, or a couple of funny labels. But yeah, so I don't think there's a full picture here of the back, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, it's kind of curious looking. Can't quite 100% make out what is going on with this instrument. It doesn't look super old, but it's a bit of a weird model, and this really pronounced kind of edge work here, where you can see the plates sink down to the edge and then it comes up in a lip. Kind of strange, but at least interesting. Another violin here, bog standard kind of trade thing there, nothing too exciting there. 19th century violin, 40 to 60. This looks fairly kind of standard-ish, though maybe once again kind of quite heavy edge work on the back there. Generic kind of purple kids violin there, 19th century 3/4. Don't think there's too much to say on that, although some of the child size ones can be quite nice. Another Strad copy. Yeah, all of these Strad copies, it looks like someone's had a good bit of fun stripping the varnish off for whatever reason, so pretty much not interesting. Interesting pink guitar there, so a guitar violin even, going completely mad. These is just kind of trade stuff here, and more trade stuff here. And let's see what else we've got here. 20th century violin there, 40 to 60. Do obviously take the time to look at the pictures in more detail yourself. Let's see, bow there, quite a nice back on this actually, fairly nice. So 40 to 60, that's not too bad, needs a bit of TLC, but nice back there. 2 3/4 violins, looks pretty tradey. Whole range of different stuff there. Nothing super crazy once again. It's the Marquis de l'Air, I think, which is a standard kind of French thing there. Got a couple of bows here. I think that's fairly standard stuff. Nothing too outrageous. Let's see here, Hoffman German bow. Yeah, some generic stuff here. Not seeing anything crazy. One of these Coda kind of carbon bows there. Small 20th century viola, copy of a Tertis. So the Lionel Tertis model viola is fairly distinctive, although this kind of doesn't look 100% like that. It looks like it's similar-ish. Henman, interesting. Little bow there as well. Henman Tertis viola, dedicated to the memory of Lionel Tertis. Okay, 250 to 350 on that. 60 centimeter overall length. They don't give the actual back length there, so that's a interesting one. But yeah, certainly seems like it would be quite small. 1977 Gotts viola here. It's again nothing too crazy on that. It's a fairly standard trade instrument, but if you can get it cheap enough, why not? 350 to 500, fairly high estimate. Half size Medafino cello there. Stentor stuff here, 3/4, nothing super exciting there. German half-side cello bow, possibly made from Pernambuco or Brazil wood. Okay, 40 to 60 on that. Like I say, this is the initial overall opinion from our cataloguers, so you can, it's just their opinion, so you need to form your own opinion. 2 full-size hard moulded cello cases, contemporary double bass there, so nothing too crazy. Double bass bow, mother of pearl inlay. Okay, 40 to 60. Looks like almost like an aluminium button or something of that kind, which is quite interesting. Nothing too crazy, I don't think. Got some saxophones here, right? We've got classic, we've got a Selmer, Henri Selmer, 1935, radio improved tenor B flat saxophone. So we always seem to find these Selmer saxophones. That one's fairly reasonable in terms of the estimate, a lot lower than a lot of the ones that we see, but I'm not au fait with some of the specific model types. Got a Boozy and Hawkes one there, an Earlham, got a couple of clarinets here, Hanson and Boozy and Hawkes, and a couple of cased Boozy and Hawkes clarinets there, 70 to 100. And we'll move on to the next page. A few more student clarinets here. Right, interesting wooden bass recorder there, possibly by Roessler, but unmarked, 150 to 250 there. Yeah, it looks actually quite nicely made instruments, and that could be quite good for someone. It's quite curious. That's 4 ocarinas here, and that's quite curious. 10-hole ocarinas and 1 16-hole double ocarina, 3 of which being from the Legend of Zelda franchise. Okay, interesting. 40 to 60. So that's quite curious. Let's see what else we got here. Victorian Class A silver-plated trumpet there, 60 to 80. Looks fairly curious. A cornet here. Fitted box with accessories. It seems to have some kind of print as well with it. So that's kind of curious. Let's read this. So we've got Barnborough Main Orchestral Society and Concert Party, 40 to 60. Interesting enough. Right, on to a couple of concertinas, which are always popular. Wheatstone & Co. McCann Duet System Concertina. There you go, 55 metal buttons, 5 to 800 on that. Looks fairly nice, so they know that these are obviously quite valuable. A Lacanal & Co. 56 button concertina, 6 to 800 on this one. So always a very healthy market for English concertinas. Whole load of various European concertinas there. Hohner accordion, another Hohner accordion. Got a Gibson Les Paul Studio here, 6 to 800 in white finish, 2010. I'm sure someone will buy that. Gibson Epiphone there, Korean Antoria Jazz Star. Guitar there. Vintage guitar. Got a 1980s Korean Hondo 6-string guitar. These are quite cool. Something a little bit different from the norm. So that's kind of curious to see. Let's see what else we got here. Fender Precision bass guitar there in Olympic white. 5 to 700 on this. Looks like it's got all its case accessories, etc. So quite curious. Nice Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray here. Nice quality bass, 800 to 1200 on this one. So that's kind of curious to see. And what else do we have here? Another Ernie Ball Music Man 4-string bass here, 800 to 1200 again. So good auction for people that like bass guitars. And a Music Man Bongo 4-string bass, 800 to 1200 on that. So good selection of basses in this sale. And what else do we have? Electro Harmonics Pog 2. These are pretty cool. The polyphonic octave generators. I've got the original one, the Pog one, which is absolutely huge, but this one is like pretty cool. The number 2 Electro Harmonics Memory Boy here, and Riddle Cue Balls. Interesting. And quite a few Electro Harmonics stuff here. Holy Grail there, and Switchblade. Blues guitar. Bogner Ecstasy there, some Marshall stuff, Dunlop Cry Baby, Morley, etc. T-Rex Fuel Tank, that's the power supply. Big Muff PI V7, that's like kind of one of the more modern ones, I think, in its funky box. Classic pedal there. Some Electro Harmonics tubes. We've got one of these high watt, I think, solid state amps, I think. Max Watt G200R. Yeah, transistor amp. These I don't think are really all that great from my experience, but 150 to 200 might be a good jamming amp. One of these cube amps, some guitar accessories. Then this is pretty cool actually. This is one of the Roadside Relics Fender Custom Shop guitar display case. Pretty cool. As an American petrol pump, this I reckon will be pretty good. Lockable, includes key, 2 to 400. I think this could do pretty well actually. I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of goes a fair bit over the estimate, but yeah, really cool Fender kind of bit. I don't think these will come up for auction that much, so yeah, pretty decent. So yeah, that's basically it. That's just a really brief overview of the sale. A few kind of interesting things here and there. Nothing too crazy, but interesting enough. If you've got any thoughts about it, please feel free to comment. And yeah, as always, thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we will catch you on the next one. Bye.